My name is Christina Coulterson, a student of publishing at Simon Fraser University. I wanted to make a documentary on the drastic changes of the publishing industry, and I found 5 remarkable people to help me tell my story.
My name is Gerald Richter, and I am the head market analyst at K&P Market Associates.
My name is Eleanor DePub. I work for DSR Publishing, and I am, I'm the editor, publisher, copy editor, accountant, illustrator, and I do pretty much everything.
My name is Jessica Brown. I'm a freshman here at Simon Fraser.
My name is Walter Dunce. I'm a philosophical fiction writer, and I've been an author for 40 years now.
My name is Russell Blake Jr. I'm the son of the Russell Blake. Yeah, I know. I'm a critically acclaimed self-published writer, and I work hand in hand with Amazon.
I started out my journey with Gerald Richter on a quest to discover why Amazon has been dominating the publishing industry and thus hurting the traditional publishing process. Eleanor DePub and Walter Dunst share their struggles from within the confinements of a publishing house today. So what has been the key to Amazon's success? Why are they dominating the industry now?
Well, a lot of people always like to point to the pricing model, but the thing with the pricing model is that as an e-commerce website, Amazon's been able to develop these really, really intricate, well-developed algorithms that basically are able to manipulate and sort out what the best price is for each product. Amazon has very extremely distinct set prices for lots of different products. Ebooks are just one of them. $9.99 was the model that the algorithm came out with, and that kind of worked for them.
And so how has Amazon managed to move from a $9.99 to like the price point that we're seeing now, which is $5.99?
It's simple. Consumption. People always will want the cheaper goods. Cheaper is better. If we had to go from if they had to go down from $9.99 to $5.99, maybe lose some million here and there, doesn't really matter for Amazon at the end of the day. You know why? People will always keep coming back for that cheaper, better product. This low set price would have quite the future impact on the rest of the publishing world in the years to come.
Well, I think it's pretty clear we're not exactly in the green at the moment. I don't have the numbers with me. With the accounting department gone, I haven't had time to crunch the numbers myself, but we're operating a bit of a loss. I mean, Amazon's selling their books at what, $5.99? It's hard to compete with that while still making a profit.
How many publishing houses are, like large-scale publishing houses, exist today in 2035?
I think the number is at least down to under 2, I think. 2 or 3, it's quite low, and it just shows how the market force that Amazon has been able to control over the last 20, 30 years.
So is Amazon now the dominant player in the publishing industry?
Well, I speak for myself and my associates, but it's kind of hard to say that they're not.
Well, first of all, Gerald Richter can think whatever he wants, but I think what a lot of people don't understand is that originally the publishing industry was based on 100% print. 80% of the business was made up of paper, printing, binding, warehousing, and shipping costs, and it wasn't just something we could change overnight. For one, we've been forced to cut back on a majority of our services. We're still fairly involved in quality control, editing, printing, and I guess distribution to some extent, but even these roles are quickly diminishing.
So what do your writers make of these losses?
Well, with the financial loss, it hasn't been easy to keep writers happy, but the few we do have left, they're the loyal ones, you know. Not necessarily the most successful, but definitely the most loyal.
So what's it like being an author writing in this day and age?
Well, you can't expect to make a living through traditional methods of print publishing anymore. Publishing houses aren't as big as they used to be, and we don't get as much support from them as we used to. While authors want to write what they feel for good for the culture, the pressure from the public to conform to popular genre like blood-sucking unicorns, and it is generally getting increasingly prevalent these days. And frankly, rather disturbing. So dark times, dark times.
So Walter, this feels like a loaded question, but in your opinion, was it better back then? And when do you think publishing started to go downhill?
By Jove, it was definitely better back then. The first dispute between Amazon and Hachette 20 years ago was publishers and authors and even agents were united against the tyranny of Amazon's monopsony in the Authors United movement. It was a glorious, unprecedented moment in publishing history. The dispute was settled near the end of 2014, but then everything went downhill during the second Amazon dispute 15 years ago. This time, they revamped their self-publishing program and recruited a legion of indie authors for their own versions of Authors United. The overwhelming signatures divided agents and authors and won the court ruling in Amazon's favor. Publishers have been barely managing to struggle by since then.
You know, we have been trying. We have been, to some extent, preoccupied with protecting our own process and copyrights and pricing, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's all we can do to try to thrive in this rapidly changing environment.
They're struggling, and I know they have my best intentions at heart, but they seem to be preoccupied with keeping up with the trends, changing authors, suppliers, everything but themselves. But I have hope that they'll pull through in the end.
Well, our goal is to stay committed to creating value for our writers and publishing content that we feel is culturally meaningful and significant to the current culture, but, you know, it gets really tough when the culture is changing so rapidly every day.
Continuing the interviewing process, I began to realize that it was the changing cultural conditions that were hindering the industry to begin with, and not necessarily a complete failure on the part of the publisher.
The problem with kids these days is that they just don't read. Well, not in print anyway. They walk around brain dead with these Kindles or tablets or whatever they're calling it these days, and you know, they don't take any information in. They're just blindly staring, and their attention spans are waning, and you know, it's not good for publishing.
Do you like to read on paper? Do you like to read on your iPhone?
Oh, I read on my tablet. On paper? Who reads on paper anymore? Are you serious?
So you don't read anything in print?
Well, I mean, oh, sorry, I need to take this. Hello? I don't even remember the last time I saw a book on paper. I mean, I guess when I was like a little kid, when I was like 3 or something, my parents would read to me on paper. But ever since I started to read myself, it's always been like electronic, I guess.
Have you ever read anything by Russell Blake Jr.?
Oh my God, Russell Blake Jr., I love him. He's seriously the best author ever. He puts out a new book every month, and they're pretty short, so I can actually get through them for once. And I mean, they're so interesting, and he's so good on social media. Like, his Twitter feed is insane. He's hilarious.
Self-publish. You don't need the publishing house. I grew my brand off of my Twitter followers. I had 10,000, it was nice. Dad kind of helped me with that, but whatever. So I grew mine off my Twitter following. They ended up buying my books. So I would advertise through my social media, and I don't have the pesky publisher to take whatever percentage they got. I think the last one offered me 15. I publish directly through Amazon Elite. There's the normal authors that publish on Kindle Direct, but as Amazon grew, they kind of put their workhorses at the top. So we go through Elite, and they offer us, you know, marketing, promotion, a lot of front page new releases. It really helps spark our sales.
And how would you describe the books that you write and the people who read them?
Well, my dad always said, being an author is like being a shark. You have to keep swimming or you die. And I took those words to heart when I was a young boy. People don't want to wait 1.5 years for the next book in the series. They want instant gratification. They want to hear that book now. So I pretty much attempt to put out a new book once a month-ish. I've put out 25 new books in the last 30 months, I would say. I took a couple months off, you know, went to Mexico. It was a good time.
Honestly, I can't blame them. They publish with Amazon. Anyone wants to make a profit, sure. But they don't realize that the way they're doing things, playing into Amazon's hands like this, it's utterly destroying book culture for everyone else. You can't have proper writing produced when everyone's just reading indie books now. Well, you gotta see. You go online in any one of the Amazon books, they're all short and ridiculously quick to read through. No one's going to get any good quality reading out of it. You can't. The narrative doesn't develop at all. It's short because people can't read anymore.
I'm giving the people what they want. They made the decision on their own. They wanted shorter books. They wanted one a month. I didn't make that decision. I just facilitated it. Boom.
It's clear that the publishing industry has changed, not just because of a lack of initiative by publishers, but an overall change of culture which inevitably relies on what consumers want. The publishers have clearly failed to adapt to the changing markets thus far, but I wanted our experts' opinions on what the future of the industry might hold. So in your opinion, is there any hope for publishers to make a big comeback? What do they have to do to get back in the game?
Well, when I checked my Bloomberg app this morning, I believe one of the big two was trading at $1.75 a share, and Amazon I think was up to $5.65 in their last quarter. Yeah, I don't know. Saddle up and run, I guess, because they don't really have a chance now, do they?
Well, you know, we're going to keep doing what we've always done. We're going to continue publishing works we believe can make a significant contribution to culture. And, you know, we're going to keep exploring avenues in the digital arena for our writers.
At the end of the day, it's really a dichotomy between what the primary business of each company is. Amazon is to sell anything and everything, whereas publishers is to sell exclusively books. Ask yourself, who has more to lose if the book culture stagnates?